whenever Brian Kelly is having to coach in games with similar talent or lesser talent, he's under 500 now. It tells me that he's not an elite X's and O's coach. Texas A&M is blowing out LSU 49-18 right now. Brian Kelly is about to get fired. And it's not really surprising when you look at his history. He's very simply not an elite coach. And in the world of NIL, where talent is being spread around more than ever, it is now more important than ever to employ an elite X's and O's coach. The days of guys like Les Miles and Coach O just out-recruiting everybody in Louisiana and winning off of mainly talent, those days are gone. You have to have a coach who can actually coach, and I'm just not convinced that Brian Kelly's that guy. He won a bunch of games at Cincinnati, and then he won a bunch of games at Notre Dame. Everybody wins at Notre Dame, and everybody should win at Notre Dame. And a lot of it is because of the schedule that you play at Notre Dame, especially when Brian Kelly was the coach there. The most ranked teams he ever played in a single season during all that time at Notre Dame was 4, and that was in 2012 when he had this awesome team. Okay, so they obviously went 4-0 in those regular season games against ranked opponents, and then they played Alabama and got absolutely dog-walked that year. Okay, every year he's been at LSU, I believe this is year 4, he's played at a minimum 4 ranked teams every single year. They made the SEC title game in his first year there. Every year since then, they have failed to do so, and obviously they haven't made the college football playoff under him yet. This year, in what is going to be his worst year at LSU, more than likely, because they're about to fall to 5-3, and they still have to play Oklahoma and Alabama. 7-5 is very much in play for them. This year, he's on track to play 6 ranked teams this year, and he's going to finish the year with probably his worst record on the team that had the highest expectations of every team he's coached at LSU up till this point. After this loss to Texas A&M, he's going to fall to under 500 as a head coach in games against ranked opponents. He's just not a good coach. That's probably a bridge too far saying he's not good at all. He's just not an elite head coach. He's not like an offensive-minded guy. He's not like some defensive guru like Mike Elko is, and he's got it on full display tonight. LSU's 1 for 12 on third down conversions right now. I think it is more important than ever to have a guy like that as your head coach. And whenever Brian Kelly is having to coach in games with similar talent or lesser talent, he's under 500 now. It tells me that he's not an elite X's and O's coach, and you have to have that in today's landscape of college football where talent is a little more evenly spread out than it's ever been before. What else you should do, because they're going to fire Brian Kelly. Probably not going to happen tonight, probably not going to happen tomorrow. But when it happens, because they're going to go 8-4, 7-5, and that's certainly not acceptable in Baton Rouge, they should call Dan Mullen, because that guy is an elite X's and O's coach. He won at Florida during a time where recruiting was really important, and you couldn't just throw money at dudes. He got to an SEC championship game at Florida. He had Mississippi State as the number 1 ranked team in the country. And it's just because he's a great coach. Throw him down there at LSU, who's got money to spend, and watch him go win a whole bunch of games every single year. He should be their first call, undoubtedly. Texas A&M, as far for them, they can win the national title. I don't know if they're going to. I don't even know if they're the best team in the SEC. It's them, Ole Miss, or Alabama. I definitely like A&M's defense significantly more than both of those teams. Marcel Reed has really grown on me these last 2 weeks. He lights up Arkansas, and there's every part of me was like, well, it's Arkansas. And then he plays this LSU team who, despite their, I'm talking like they're terrible, they're 5-2, but the strength of that LSU defense has been the secondary. Marcel Reed just walked in there. I know he threw 2 picks. Hasn't mattered. They're still up 49-18. His ability to create with his legs is really, really impressive. Texas A&M probably has one of the 5 best defenses in college football, which is probably why they're going to win the SEC. If I had to pick anyone, even though I still do really like Alabama, they're really good. Are they better than Ohio State, though? I don't know. That's the holdup with picking them to win a national title. They have to go and beat Ohio State, and I'm just not sure that they're going to be able to do that. But outside of that, I really like this team. This kind of feels like a bit of a statement win. The rest of their schedule, I believe, is pretty manageable as I pull it up here. Yeah, it is. They're going to play at Missouri next week, or in their next game. They should win that one. Maybe not. Missouri's certainly a good football team, even though Bo Brabula got carted off today. So if he doesn't play, then they should definitely win that game. And then they get South Carolina, who's frisky, but they're better than, and then Samford, and then they close the year with an underachieving Texas team. So, yeah, like they've got a real chance to finish the year undefeated, be a top 4 seed, and maybe win the SEC championship game against Ole Miss or Alabama or whoever else they wind up meeting there. So, really like this A&M team. LSU, go hire Dan Mullen. Don't make this any more complicated than it needs to be.